Hey Zoya, welcome to FS Changemakers. It's great to talk to you today.
Hi, Adarsh. It's a pleasure being here on this platform to be able to inspire the millions and billions out there watching.
Awesome. So Zoya, I think let's start from the basics. How did
hmm
you end up becoming a pilot? Was that always a part of the plan?
Uh, well, the part of the plan started long back when there was an 8-year-old Zoya sitting on the terrace of our house. And I used to stargaze looking upon the stars and used to wonder those little tiny flying objects. My eyes used to trace the contrails of them. And I used to wonder, will I ever be able to fly one of them? But that was constantly being drowned out, from the very word of the sound of impossible in my ears, because the kind of background that I came from, where I was taught to walk behind the shadows of the elders and the guys and the men folk in my family. And coming from there, where I knew it would be almost impossible, if not a challenge, to be able to break out from the stereotypes in order to become a pilot. So, yes, I it was a childhood dream which I had to struggle to fight for, but I'm so thankful to God and my parents that I'm finally here.
That's so amazing to hear. And so, how does it feel from being in a position where it was a challenge, it was almost impossible, to now being in a situation where the entire country is looking up to you. Even the Prime Minister is talking about you in his Man Ki Baat. How's this entire phase of the last one odd month been, where you are the talk of the town everywhere?
Adarsh, it's very humbling to say the least, because I just did my job. I am just a tiny drop in the ocean who did what I'm supposed to do. However, I'm just very happy about the fact that it could spread a very large and strong message for women empowerment for all our Bharat ki betis out there who could see this one Zoya Agarwal and one Captain Tanmay and one Captain Sunavani and one Captain Manhas, who could envision themselves in our places and say that if they can defy the odds and do whatever they have done, so can I. So long as I can even help change one mindset at one time in this world, you can change one life. I think your work on this planet is truly done and you're successful. I'm really happy also about the fact that our country has gotten an amazing name on a global platform, because this news has provided much needed positive vibes and the silver lining to the dark clouds, which the 2021 commencement gave us. And even for Air India, I'm really happy that, we could all basically achieve so much of positivity on the global platform with this historic feat. And we were all a part of it.
Amazing. And I think Air India in general, shout out to everyone, the great work that you guys have been doing. First Vande Bharat, and then your flight is a specific instance. And now this entire, vaccine being distributed across the world. I think Air India is doing a tremendous job. Kudos to everyone there.
Absolutely. I think my bosses, my top management in Air India, my colleagues, I think everybody is doing a fantastic job. Even my three other Bharat ki betis, who have done this flight with this flight wouldn't have been a reality if it wasn't for them. So I'm
Absolutely.
extremely grateful to every single Air Indian out there today who's doing the amazing job that they are in all their capacities. So kudos. You all are rock stars.
Awesome. Zoya, moving on to talking about life in general as a pilot, right? This obviously was the longest flight, which is 17 hours. But even otherwise, the schedule of a pilot's life is so hectic, right? You are doing long international flights and then stop short overs, and then you're back. How do you ever find time for yourself?
Uh, Adarsh, there's no such thing as finding. You have to create time for yourself. Because if you don't create time for yourself and make yourself a happy person, well, good luck with spreading happiness. And I'm all about spreading happiness and positivity. Even if I will land at a destination which is 13 and a half hours, for example, if I land in San Francisco in the middle of the night and it's 13 and a half hour split from Indian Standard Time, I would still go to the extent of going and working out there, because only if you look after yourself, you can look after others with equal amount of verve and happiness. So I'm all about that. So we all must endeavor to not find time but create time for ourselves.
No, that's amazing. So moving on. So since you mentioned about San Francisco and long flights, do you ever get to
Uh-huh.
visit and spend time in all the places that you travel to as part of your job?
So I feel life is too short. Every breath is a gift, a true gift by the Almighty, whether it's, uh, if I don't even consider the word I and me, I think it's very overrated. I think we all are gifted this beautiful life and this time by the Almighty, and we must do justice to it. How many of us are fortunate enough to go out there, see the world, and to be able to really truly live those moments? I mean, I think we all must be deeply grateful for those wondrous moments and breaths that we have that time. So, definitely, whenever I am in a place, I try and make the most out of every single moment of my life, not just in my places where I go for work. In life in general, every day when I get up in the morning, I breathe in gratitude and I say my thank you to God that, to give me this beautiful day and this beautiful scenery around me, to make every single moment, which is fulfilled with happiness and beauty around me. And wherever I am in this world, this kind of wave of positivity, I always try and cherish that. I make the most of every single moment that I have, be it anywhere I am in. Of course, pre-COVID, it's more applicable now. We are restricted to a lot of quarantines across the world. So we have to abide by it to make our world a safer place, to stop the spread responsibly. But pre-COVID, everywhere I went, everywhere I would go and explore the place, try to figure out something new. I would live with this principle that everywhere I would go, I would do something new every single time. And I have been living with this principle, I think, from the time I've joined this airline and going to any place. So yes, I
So
try and make a single moment.
it's so amazing and refreshing to hear such positive thoughts, Zoya, because a lot of times you think that people at large are becoming a bit too negative. So just talking to you and hearing all these positive thoughts is just truly amazing.
Thank you.
So
I'm glad I positivity.
Zoya, as you know, we are covering you as part of our FS Changemakers campaign. And we try to bring forward amazing stories of amazing women from across the country. So is there any particular instance or story from your life which you would say defines you or makes you the kind of person you are?
So, Adarsh, when I was a little girl, I was telling you the story about my terrace and how I would sit on top over there. When I used to dream those dreams of becoming a pilot and uh, flying amongst those stars and the clouds, um, I was faced with this constant sound in my ears, like I was telling you earlier, this thought of the word impossible. And when I went on to challenge it, and my parents being very, very conservative, I'm the only child, I'm the girl and the boy of the family. When I told my parents that this is what I want to do, I want to become a pilot, and I remember my mom breaking out into tears and crying with fears, uh, with absolute, fearful tears that what's wrong with our daughter now? Who's going to get married to her? And, she'll never be able to lead a stable life because of her own dreams, which are too big for her shoes. So from there, coming to the point where I am now, I had to prove to my parents that how serious my intentions were. I always very inclined uh, towards my studies from the very beginning, and I could basically do a lot. With my college studies during the daytime, I enrolled into St. Stephen's College, and I would go from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. over there, and then after that, I would go for my aviation classes, which was at the other end of the city. And I did this for 3 years. Sometimes when I would come back in the night at 9:30, uh, there was no electricity, so I would just go outside and sit under the lamppost and study because I had to finish off my assignments on a daily basis since I was doing almost two things at the same time. And by the end of 3 years, when I eventually finished all my aviation exams as well as my college exams, and I topped, I'm very grateful to God that I taught my college as well most of the years. So my parents saw that zeal, that determination, that fortitude, that perseverance in me, that she's not going to give up. So eventually, my father, I think, was slightly more sympathetic towards me. They probably just felt very bad for me. They said, okay, let her go and pursue her dreams, of flying. And I think that episode of never say die and never give up is the one where you eventually shape up as a human being, that if you do not kneel down to the societal pressures that are always present around you, we live in a country of more than a billion. And I can tell you for a fact that there's so many women, not just in our country, but across the world, who are faced with tremendous social pressures, not just women, even youth, that so many times when we want to do something, we are restricted by the societal boundaries or the challenges around us that uh, make us say, no, maybe I cannot achieve it. But if you hang in there with your perseverance, with your grit, with your determination, you look at the goal into its eyes and then say, this is what I want. God has given me one life and I will do it. And you will do it. So that is an episode that shaped me as a person. If I were to kneel down, that 8-year-old Zoya kneel down to all the pressures around her back then, today this Zoya will not be talking to you. So stay strong, be true to yourself, and believe in yourself. And there is no challenge that you cannot rise above.
Oh, that's so inspirational. And just to add to that, I would also like to say that even your parents, the fact that they might have had reservations to start with, but they were loving enough or smart enough to realize that, okay, no, she needs to be able to follow what she truly wants to do, right? Even that change in thinking, I think they deserve credit for that for sure.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful to have them as my parents that, they let me follow my dreams. Of course, I had to prove myself, which is fine because, they took a lot of financial loan for my flying, and, they were the ones who shaped me up. So I'm so thankful to them because without God and without them, they are my equivalent of God on this planet. So I wouldn't be here at all. So I'm extremely grateful.
So, Zoya, you spoke about the 8-year role yourself. So today you are, the inspiration to, millions of girls throughout the country and throughout the world. Is there any message you would like to give them today on, how they can achieve their dreams?
Okay, so I so many times, Adarsh, I go to these schools for the talks, and I always take a piece of paper and I write the word impossible over there, and I always present it to the kids. I say, "What is this written over there here?" So then a lot of them would tell me, it's written impossible, ma'am. And then some of them would say, it's I am possible. And then when they say that I am possible, it would resonate in my ears of the same 8-year-old Zoya would flash in front of my eyes. Not that that has gone away anywhere. That 8-year-old Zoya is still omnipresent inside of me. However, when I would hear the word impossible, I would think of that girl who said that everything is possible. Just hang in there, Zoya. And to the remaining girls, I would tell them that listen, there is no word called impossible, okay? You just have to change the way you read things and read impossible as I am possible. Because always remember, every single great reality begins with a great dream. And every single great dream begins with a great dreamer, which is you. So hang in there, stay focused. There's nothing you cannot do. Read impossible as I am possible, and you will do it.
That's amazing. So I think that's a great message to end this chat on, right? Dream and work hard to achieve your dreams, and you'll surely get there, as Zoya did. And I'm sure everybody can if they put their heart and soul into it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Zoya. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise, others. Thank you for having me here.